Yeah, what's up? Rough Dog TV, L Dog the Don. That's my code name. That's my handle. That's my street name. L Dog the Don. L Dog the Dom. Dom mean domicile, dome, head of household, head of family. L Dog the Don. Um, as requested, I'm going to talk about stalking today on L on relationships. Stalking is a serious matter that you hear about men stalking women, but you seldomly hear about women stalking men. Um, Unfortunately, your homeboy right here, was a victim of a stalker back in the 90s. Um, it didn't turn violent, but it would have if I was ever approached by the girl. Um, it's the same girl that I was talking about in L on relationships and AIDS, the first episode. Well, as y'all know, I'm gonna try to be brief with it, but as y'all know, I met her in 1990 in Tuskegee. We hooked up, started dating in 1991. She moved to Detroit in 1993 to go to Wayne State. Now I told her, and I can't remember if I told y'all this or not, but I told her, don't come to Detroit. I want to break up with you. And this on the phone in 1993, New Year's. I'm telling her I don't want to be with you. It ain't gonna work. I'm tired of the long distance. I ain't feeling you. 2 weeks later, she shows up at my house on Lawton, on Lawton, and she said, she coming, and so I regret to this day letting her in. Hindsight shows me that I um should have just ignored her, ran out the back, you know, done something different. So I let her in, and she convinced me. Well, she tried to convince me that we should be together and that she couldn't transfer back to Tuskegee or go back to New York because she already transferred her college credits over to Wayne State to go to school with me. And I'm like, man, I was distracted and preoccupied with other stuff that I was going through at that time. And so hold on. So I was distracted and really wasn't trying to pay attention to her. And so we ended up, we stayed at my mother's house. My mother let her stay there with us. My mother being nice for some reason. My mother ain't never nice, but she let the girls stay there, and so we found an apartment near the university, Wayne State. It was like 2 blocks from main campus. So we lived together from winter of '93 to May when school let out. It was May or June when school let out for semester over or whatever. And she packed up and took off. Right? She left. She said, but all during that time, I was telling her, to her face, I told her day one, we're not gonna get married. I don't think you the wife type. I don't want to have sex with you like that. I just ain't feeling you, girl. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm gonna try to win you and just give us a chance and all this other stuff. And I'm like, man, this girl crazy. You gonna let me stay out here in this apartment by myself? You gonna let me do that? Da, 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 da. You know. So so she left, went back to New, went home, and then she transferred back to Tuskegee. And so and so we still was saying we was together dating or whatever while she was at Tuskegee, and I was still living in the apartment by myself, and going to school and working or whatever. And and so she graduated Tuskegee in '94, or she say she did, and she asked me to come to her graduation, so I rented a car, drove down there, and I get down there, and she tell me, well, I didn't graduate because I was one class short or one class shy and all this other stuff. I'm like, so why you ain't tell me that? Why I had to come down here? And so the relationship was turbulent all while we was together. I mean, it ain't even worth talking about, man. But I'm gonna tell you how she started stalking me. Um, when she went back to Tuskegee, she had a male roommate, right? And I was like, man, you got you living with a dude off campus now, right? I mean, that's nasty. I ain't trying to be in a relationship with you, but being the player that I am, I still kept her around. That's my fault. But just note that I was all the relationship trying to break up with her. In '94, at the graduation or her 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 so-called graduation, I tried to break up with her. And so I'm gonna stop for a commercial. We'll be right back. Oh, okay, we back. Then where was I? So, I tried to break up with her all during the relationship, and she called me and crying, and why, and just, some I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the sex or whatever, but you know, we didn't split till I had to just be real sharp with her. So, why, so I wound up from Tuskegee at her graduation, taking her back to New York. Where I jumped in the rental car. We jumped in the rental car and drove up. And so, I still had the apartment. And by this time, she had been bugging me about getting serious and being with her and having a relationship. And so I said, so why don't you come on back to Detroit? I ain't doing that. I'm working. I got a little money. Let's kick it a little bit more. I want to see what you talking about. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And she said, no, I miss my friends. I miss my sister, my best friend, my mama. I said, all right, I'm gone. So, I left New York, drove from New York back to Detroit, turned in the rental car, went on back to work. A couple of days later, she called and told me she missed me. Can I come get you? See, that stuff spoiled her. I said, no, I can't come get you. I'm working this. Well, I miss you. Okay, okay. Well, I'll be here. I offered you to come back to the apartment that was in your name, that, you know what I'm saying, that you wanted, right? You know what I'm saying? So, um, so then, so a couple of days later, a couple of days later passed. She called me again. I'm chilling in the apartment. She asked me that I want to get married to her. By this time I was just fed up with being in a relationship with the girl. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I wanted some sex when I wanted it. That's what I determined it to be. That I wanted sex when I wanted some sex, and she wasn't there to do that. So I was just tired of being in a relationship with this. I'm tired of that bullshit. I was tired of it. And so, I told her, I said, look here, take that ring and the stuff you got between your legs and go give it to somebody else, because I don't want you. You know what I'm saying? And I slammed the phone up, and then moved out the apartment. And then when I moved out the apartment, like, a couple months later, or a year later, I bounced around, stayed here, stayed with my father, stayed some other places. And one day I was walking down Woodward by the Fox Theater. And I ain't talked to this girl in 6 months or a year. And she riding down Woodward in a in her mother's old car, a light blue Honda Accord, with her cousin Rusty. Riding down Woodward looking at me. And I'm like, man, that look like that heifer. And so we got to stop for commercial. I'll be right back.
No one has hit.
So, so I'm walking down Woodward, coming from a job or so. I don't know where I was coming from. I was walking, I don't know, going to my father's house, father's apartment. And I'm like, this dead heifer. And they just looking at me. And I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying? And, I didn't know she knew how to drive. I ain't talked to her, about a year and a half. And I've been through some things, so I wasn't even thinking about her. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And so you know, and so I guess she found out I was staying at my father's apartment, and she would ride up and down his street all times of day, all times of night, blowing the horn. The girl crazy. That's one, and did not call me and say, "Hey, I'm in the D. What's up? Come outside, let's kick it." I just want to say, it's time didn't pass. Hey, nigga, we did share an apartment together and some other things, right? So, uh, it was one time. Before that time, I I didn't know what I was gonna do this particular day. It was 95, and I went up. I woke up and didn't know what I was gonna do that day. I was staying at my mother's house, and I woke up, decided to go to the outlet in Monroe, Michigan. I'm in Monroe, Michigan. Didn't know what I was gonna be doing that day. This girl in Monroe, Michigan, at the outlet with me. The shopping mall outlet, got the Nike store and the Levi's, all that stuff was there at that time in 95. She at the outlet wearing a red dress that she had on when she went out with me one time. But she was walking with some other dude. Later, I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, it was her stepfather's son. But, we walked past each other. And, she just look at me. I look at her and like, and I kept on walking. I'm like, is this bitch? Excuse my French. But, no words were spoken, nothing. And so, that's crazy to have lived with a person, broke up with a person, time and went on, and, you ain't saying nothing. And so, I guess she was going to be like, she thought I was going to be like, Charlene, is that you? Hey, you know what I'm saying? I'd be a fool, I think. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So, what happened after that? So then that's two instances. The third instance is like 3, 4, 5 instances. I was so I went back to Wayne State, right? And in 96, I went back to Wayne State. And I had an early morning class. And I had to be there at school like 8 o'clock, 8:30 or something. And I put up in front of the building, and she always had this green Woolrich winter coat that she wore, right? She from New York, so she had a green long wool, and so I seen a coat like hers going to. I was parking the car, and a coat like hers go into the building. Hold on, commercial break. And, and, and a coat like hers that she wore walking to the building. And so I'm like, no, that can't be her, right? So I, park the car, go in the building, go to class, sit in my classroom. This crazy bee, this crazy heifer, walked past my classroom and just staring there. And it looked like she was pregnant. I don't know, but she was walking with a white man in a business suit. And I'm like, what the fuck is this about, right? And so, she did that and walked back, and I ain't seen them after that. I later heard, I don't know for sure or not, but the dude was a lawyer. I don't know what that was about. I have no idea. That's what I heard. So then I was over here, and this was 95. I think it could have been 95. I'm going back and forth. It was 95. I ain't been outside all week, right? And my grandmother's still alive, and my aunt was taking care of my grandmother. And they come back from the grocery store, and they call me and say, hey, Lewis, go get the groceries out the car. I said, okay. As soon as I step outside, this crazy bee, and it's her. And if she deny it was her, make her take a lie detector test. And if it wasn't her, I give her $1,000 for slandering her name. But I'm 100% sure it was her. She pulled up in a black Mustang, which I later found out was her man car, her new man car, and she was with a girl that we both went to Tuskegee with, Lantrinate Jenkins. Lantrinate from Cincinnati. So she must have drove from New York to Cincinnati, picked up Lantrinate, drove up here just to see what I'm doing. Ride past his house, where I'm is now, and I didn't tell her where I was staying. She remembered coming over here when she was living here. We used to come see my grandparents. And I'm like, wow. She would phone stalk me. I would come in the house from class and the phone would ring and it'd be her. So that's another case. One time in '98, I was on 94, going somewhere early morning. Her and her man, they on 94 with me. And she looked over at me and just with a look of like, what I mean, a crazy look, like nigga, like, you don't see me or you don't recognize me or something. I don't know what she was thinking, but she looked right over at me like, yes. And I'm like, wow, I kept on going where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? So, and then, later I heard that they were going to Chicago or something. I don't know. But, it's funny how they on the freeway with me early in the morning and I'm going to a class. And then what else happened? I was on the lodge one day. And I don't know, I was coming from my father's house and this bee on the lodge, driving on the lodge, looking at me. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't crazy, I ain't paranoid, man, I'm trying to start crazy. I'm wishing the girl was on me like this. I tell y'all the truth, it was that girl in real life. Hold on, I gotta take a time commercial break.
It
So, she was on the lodge with me. You know, and so I just thought, oh, that was crazy to see me in the street, to have shared an apartment with. It was just me and her, and I know I broke up with her kind of roughly, and I was real nasty with her, and I did feel bad about it. I tried to apologize to her about it, but I don't think it resonated with her. But I just ain't want to be with her, and I had to get her off some kind of way. Not saying I'm not saying I'm all that, but she just wasn't my wife. You know, and if I would have been a little bit stronger, I would have sent her home or not even moved in with her or not even let her in. If I was a little bit stronger back when I was 20 years old, you know what I'm saying? So, but you live and you learn. Um, and then she's taught me in other ways. She tried to get in my head, play mental games, and try to break up or dissuade other girls from messing with me. And so she was just crazy, man. I tried to talk to her parents. Her father's a retired New York City police officer. He was an alcoholic and an abuser. He physically beat their mother. She has three sis, uh, two sisters by her mother and a brother and another sister from her father and another woman, from a previous marriage. So, and he verbally abused them. She told me she was molested when she was a small child by her um, babysitter's son, where her parents left her at. But you know, I'm thinking, what she told me isn't molestation, it's rape. So I'm thinking to myself, you was raped when you was 11 or 10 or whatever, and plus she seen her mother physically beaten by her father, who was a New York City cop, and I mean, all during relationship, all during our relationship, or whatever you want to call it, she would want to fight. She would start fights, and she was very depressed. Man, depression is contagious. She would say stuff, and then like say, "Come on and hit me, come on, hit me," and don't holler at me. She get in a real low tone. Don't holler at me. Don't talk to me like that. I'm like, damn, bitch, you the one starting this. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to fight with you. So I mean, it was just a depressing relationship being with the girl. I mean, just depressed. And so she went to school for psychology. And I would try to talk to her. I was like, why don't you go see a therapist, go through some therapists, talk about what happened when you was a child. She laughed at that. I told her, well, I'm taking some therapy about some things that I'm going through. And she laughed at that. I said, how you gonna go to school for psychology and laugh at psychology? So I'm like, you's a dumb bee, and I'm through with you. You know, you know, I tried to be cool with her on the phone. I tried to break up with her. I told her I was married, and I went as far as talking to myself like I was talking to my wife in the background, asking her, do you want to talk to my wife? Trying to get her off, and she was still talking about, you want me this. I don't want you like that. You know what I'm saying? So, the girl was crazy. I still have to threaten her sometime today with calling the police. I I I told my aunt and my sister, and they laughed at me. That girl don't want you. I said, okay, I'm not playing. They thought I was joking, but I'm dead serious, man. The girl got problems. You know what I'm saying? To drive all the way from New York, Alabama, and just to look at her, you know, just to look at me, that's crazy. That's stalking is when you are mentally obsessed with somebody, and I don't want nobody to be obsessed with me. You know what I'm saying, like that. So the girl was crazy. That's my time. Thank you for sharing. I would appreciate any comments, feedback y'all got. Y'all could write them in the comment box, post on my wall, whatever. It's all good. Rough Dog TV, L on Relationships and Stalking. Peace. I'm out.